Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Hope everybody is doing well. Thank you so much for being here. I definitely appreciate you joining us for being here on this fine Sunday morning. We actually have some cool weather here, which is nice. It's a good change of pace. First off, let's go say hi to some people. Jack Riley. Good morning, David Carlisle, Neil, good to see you. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Mike. What's up, Mike? How are you? He's like, I'm here. If you haven't noticed, Mike's actually on panel, along with Jack Young and Eric. You guys, thank you so much for being on today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We hit 6,000 subscribers, folks. I got to tell you how much I appreciate you guys and gals for all the support. You guys have done a lot to really push the channel, to watch the content and support the wonderful people who continue to come up on panel. And so I just want to say thank you for that. More goals in store. We got some fun stuff to go through today. We're going to be talking key dates, but we're also going to be doing some random little giveaways of just, you know, again, we have these, but I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Many of you may have heard about Everyday Copportunities Dime Challenge. This is where you take a silver dime, you put it in a thing, you get your name on a list, and then when the thing is full, they're going to draw, and whoever's name they draw at the end of that is going to be the one who wins the jar of dimes. So today, I have 10 silver dimes. I'm going to be randomly drawing, and I'm going to be putting you guys in to that particular event. So part of a thank you for that. I've already worked with somebody to get those dimes set aside. And so I will be drawing those. And if I draw your name, then you will be eligible for that. Another way.
So how many total dimes are they collecting?
The container is about... It's just a glass jar. It's about 8 inches high, 7 inches high, probably 3 inches in diameter. It's probably going to be a year-long base challenge.
Yeah, it'll hold 50 rolls.
Yeah, it's pretty substantial.
50 rolls would be 250 face.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
that's a lot of silver.
It's a lot of silver.
The box
Yeah.
of dime is 8.5 by 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, I believe. And that's 50 rolls.
It's a 1 liter whiskey bottle.
As it should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I don't know what's funner, emptying the bottle or filling it back up. So, but yeah, it's a pretty cool challenge.
One thing I will tell you, and I'm serious about this, you will not find the answer to your problems at the bottom of the whiskey bottle.
No, that's
the usually find it somewhere about 2/3 down.
That's right. Yeah, if you make it to the bottom, that's the beginning of your problems.
I've always heard that about tequila.
That's a different problem.
Right.
All right. Today we're going to be talking about key dates. So again, this is Sunday. This is the Just Ask episode. This is where we get people on panel who are obviously more knowledgeable than me, and we ask questions. Ooh, that was loud. Sure what that was. I don't know if that was me, if that was somebody else. And so today we're going to be talking about key date coins. So I'm going to share something with you all really quickly. And this is not something that is going to be the only thing that we're going to look at, but what we've got here is I've put together a list. We're going to talk about the good and the bad aspects of doing something like this. We'll kind of zoom in a little bit. And these go through each one of the elements. It talks about gold, silver, the bullion dollars, the ASCs, the various mint marks that are there, the various silver dollars that you can have. And we'll be talking about these things. And then I don't have all of them. Again, I don't have half cents, 3-cent nickels, half dimes, things like that. So there's a lot of stuff still in the gap. I don't know what that noise is, but somebody's coming across is really squeaky. And so I will get this. I'm not sure who it is. I'm not sure what's going on. It kind of comes in and out. We'll see if we can figure out what that is. But I'll be providing this to you. I do have a basic overview. This will get put into the chat. Now, again, this is not, it's not meant to be complete, right? There's so many resources out there. I'm not rebuilding something. But we're going to talk a little bit about the good and the bad in collecting lists like this. We also have, if you look at, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. If you also look at Mike's little avatar there, you're going to see the 2026 Red Book. That's going to be the one when we have vintage questions that we're going to be looking at today. Robert Bruce, I didn't do Canadian coins on this particular list because I had to pull a ton of information just to get, you know, a 70% solution for the US coins. There are resources out there. We're going to be talking about the various resources and stuff that are available to you. And Jack Young has provided me some information we're going to be pulling up as well regarding how to identify some of the counterfeit issues that come with some of these either key date or notable dates. And those notable dates, and again, Robert, we can probably work on another one where we talk more about the Canadian ones and see if we can't get some more information on that. But for that, we'll need to get somebody who's really good on Canadian coinage. So without further ado, I'm going to, and I don't know who, somebody's got some really wonky feedback.
Yeah, it's not me. I turned my mic off just to make sure.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
What's going on. It sounds like it's. Try turning your gain down on your mic, Mike.
I'm on my iPhone. So.
Oh, okay. So it's probably picking up. Yeah, that's probably what's going on. All right, no worries. All good.
I am on.
And I think that's the issue. We have a bad internet connection, I think, on his end. That might be part of the problem. All right, so we'll let Mike deal with this thing, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Jack. So Jack, I'm going to pull up that first list. I'm going to share this out. You want to talk a little bit, and we'll talk about one of these key dates, in particular the 1914.
So this was out of the one that I sent you.
Yep.
You want to start with the 1914?
Yeah. So the 1914D, again, when we're looking at key date coins, obviously this is a key date coin, which is really kind of funny. And Eric, you and I have talked about this a number of times. The limited mintage doesn't always mean lowest mintage, right? Because the 31S has less than the 14D, but the 14D is more collected. So it's also more counterfeit. But when we look at some of these issues, there's two of them in particular that he's going to show information on. One of them is the 1914D. It's a highly counterfeit coin. This particular one, you probably can see exactly what's going on with it without being told.
Exactly.
It's one of those that stands out like a sore thumb, right? And if anybody's ever hit their thumb with a hammer, you know exactly what we're talking about, right? It's one of those things you just can't miss. For those of you who have no idea what's going on, Jack, you want to kind of explain what's going on and what you're seeing here?
Yeah, again, if you look at the date and you see the spacing between the 9 and the 1, and you see how malformed that 1 is, This actually was in 1944. And so it was heavily worked on, and to try to create a 1914D. It's one of the ones in my collection. It's kind of my specialty. I have odd coins like this, but there's a close-up picture there where you can see there was quite a bit of work done. The ones even got on the right side, part of the 4 still kind of bulging out there. And you can see there was some work on the shoulder as well. So highly modified. Most people would, if they're really collectors of this and understand the key dates, would say, yeah, that's not right, but it could still slip by. So it's one of those things that people just need to be aware of.
Well, and again, when you're looking at this, so let's kind of zoom in a little bit and talk a little bit more. We have time, so we're going to be talking about these various coins, allowing you guys to ask questions. And again, when I say allowing you to ask questions, what I mean by that is the floor is yours, right? We're here to answer questions based off of your insights and what you want to know about. So if you have a specific key date coin that you want to talk about, put question in chat and then drop that coin and say, hey, this is the one that I want to know about. What we're looking at here is you're talking about the remnant of that 4 here. So you can see, if you look at the 4 that's here, you can see that that is there. You can see the little nodule there on the end. And again, hopefully you guys can see my little mouse pointer. I try to make my mouse pointer bigger. But you can see kind of the leftover, and then you can see the tooling.
There's even a bigger elephant in the room. And that's the VDB.
Exactly.
Because VDB wasn't put back on the cent until 1918. So 1914 does not have VDB under the shoulder, and that's why it's all scuffed away down there. They're trying to obscure the view of VDB.
Exactly.
And 1918 was when that came back?
Yes.
Okay.
So you see the scratches on the shoulder as Eric's pointing out. There you go. Yeah. And that's part of the work I said was done to this one.
So that's, and again, good detail. You see those 2 areas.
That and the mint mark's not correct either.
It is.
Style in general is incorrect.
Well, it's because it's a 40/40, right?
Right. That's correct.
No one just is in the other chat and said, how much would a scarce 1883 Hawaiian dime be in very good to MS condition? I'd have to pull that up to look at that. Unfortunately, right now, I don't know the answer to that. Give me a minute and I will come back and we will see if we can pull up information on the 1883 Hawaiian dimes. Say again?
That's a coin you don't hear much about.
Yeah.
I've never had anybody ask me about a Hawaiian dime.
I've got some Hawaiian quarters and stuff like that that I got when I was there. But yeah, I definitely, we wouldn't be able to say anything about authenticity, obviously, because we wouldn't be able to see the coins. When you're looking at stuff like that, you'd have to see it. So, but we can talk to, we can pull up some information on that. No problem. And I think Mike is having internet issues because he's here and then he's gone and then he's here and then he's gone. So Mike will come back as soon as he can. Okay, 1922.
This is one I'm deferring to Eric on.
Well, it's hard to say in its condition. Most of the 22 no Ds, it's got like no remnants of D at all. And It doesn't have an extremely strong reverse, but it's worn and pitted heavily. So it would be one that I would want to look at and actually compare to the known die pairs. I think there's 4 known die pairs.
Correct.
So I wouldn't make a call on this just from the picture, but I would say that it is not legit.
Yeah, that was the general consensus as well. It did not match any of the die pairs.
It's just the one no D, the reverse kind of sticks out.
Right.
The other ones, you can see a remnants of the D still, and they let it slide by as a no D.
Mm-hmm.
but the reverses are usually in tatters on those coins. So, and one of the reasons why in 21 and 22 they didn't mint a ton of coins. So almost every modern coin has low mintages in like 21, and then they used them. So there's not a lot of survivors, high grade survivors either. So, but yeah, my consensus would be fake for that reason. Oh, what am I seeing there?
And when you blow that up, what do you see?
It looks like I see a 3.
There's also some scratches under there.
Yeah, it looks like it's been a 1932 possibly modified, or
it's been reworked without question.
3.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, I'm back.
He's back. Much better sound.
Like a bad penny. Well, I went to my studio.
Yep. We're showing a bad penny, Mike.
I see that.
So what would you say this was? Would you say this was a 32 that had been modified?
I would say something. Yeah, I would say
maybe a 33.
Could be a 33. Also, yeah, they could have did both 2s.
It'd make them look consistent.
Yeah. And I mean, there was some jewelers that used to do some very good work on some of these counterfeits, because when they were counterfeiting the 09 SVDBs, they used to slice off mint marks and glue them on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see that one too much anymore. And you always knew, because they were always taking the mint marks off of coins that had a different style mint mark because they were more prevalent. So there was always the wrong style mint marks. Matter of fact, I haven't seen a glued on 1909S in a long time.
I've seen a number of 1916D Mercs.
With glued on mint mark?
Yes.
It makes sense. Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull something across for everybody so you can see this. Let's see if I can zoom in. There we go. So one of the things we're looking at this is the stylization of the 2s.
That and just the place of the horizontal bar on the lower 2 is below the top of the hoop of the 9, where this one is almost parallel, or even with the top loop. Here I got my pointer. I'm pointing on it.
I don't think they can see that, Eric.
Right, yeah. You've got the top loop of the 9, and it looks like the base of the 2s are almost level with the top loop of the 9, whereas they're below on the real examples.
Yeah, that 2 doesn't look anything like the genuine 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not even close. It's a blob, really.
Yeah.
And this one here, look at the reverse. The reverse on the actual real coin is super sharp.
Right.
Well, it's because it was a brand new die.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
But the obverse, if you look at the second 2 is repunched. It's stronger. It's a genuine coin.
Yeah. And again, one of the tricks in counterfeiting, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but one of the tricks in counterfeiting is to add wear to hide things like tooling and modification. So it's very common to see wearing in that area that they're trying to mask. You'll see that also when they do repair work on coins. You'll see that they'll wear down an area around that to make it look like it's a weak die strike or something like that. So, but again, when you look at this, the reverse on this isn't horrible. But that now, is there any die marker on here that shows
memory tells me? There is a die marker on the obverse, I believe.
Well, there's several on the obverse, but as far as the reverse goes, this is the only coin that I know of that you grade by the reverse.
Yeah.
You don't even grade this coin by the obverse. You grade it by the reverse.
So, fun stuff. All right. And then we have another one, don't we?
Yeah, there's one at the top, right?
That was the 14D.
The 55.
55.
Oh, the 55.
The double die.
Oops, I missed that one. Okay. And there's a couple of things wrong with this one.
Well, if you go all the way up to the top of the thing that I put together, this one was actually identified by Annex and ENA back in the 80s. And one of the key tells was this depression you see in the end of the wheat stalk. It also had some tooling marks on the back of the shoulder and the back of the head, but this was right out of the ANA's documentation. They did a counterfeit summary, if you would, and this is right out of it. They had a whole series of 1955 double die counterfeits, and this was obverse 3, reverse 3. And they went through a series of, I think, 5 or 6 different ones. But that depression is one of the main tells. Then if you continue down, so it was actually rewritten in 2013 in Coin World. Michael Fahey actually wrote it. And again, he acknowledged the fact that it had that depression in the wheat stalk. The other thing he noted was that the edge was very square. It was not beveled or rounded like you would see in a genuine coin. So it was something else that had stuck out as being unique to that particular one.
Squared as in like a proof coin?
That's just about to ask the same question.
Yeah, I've got a picture. Keep going down. So that's the coin in hand, and the top image is actually the edge of mine. And then I just took a subject wheat coin and just took a picture of that edge as a comparison.
And there actually is die markers for this one too.
Yes.
That you can verify. There's like a northern die scratch inside the C of cent, in the E of cent, stuff like that.
And then continuing down is actually my coin. That obviously fooled a number of people. It was about to be sent in for certification, and the owner put it up on a forum, and we all got to discussing it. And you can see by the naked eye here the depression in the end of that wheat stem.
Sure. Yeah.
Go
and
down.
It has the Chinese smirk too.
Well, yeah.
It's not as bad as some.
Not as bad as the latest ones. No,
Yeah.
not at all. And the rest
But it doesn't look right on the cheekbone.
But it's pretty well done. And again, it goes back to the 80s. So, I mean, this one predates a lot of the stuff that we obviously are seeing now. And then if you go down a little bit further, I've got a little better picture that shows. So the one on the left is actually out of the Coin World article, and the one on the right is mine in hand. And you can see that they're pretty much identical for that feature.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So back to key dates. Even I have some modern key dates in my collection.
Yeah, so now this goes to some of the questions that are being asked related to, is the 1955 double die technically a key date?
No.
It's a good question. Yes.
Right. And it's not. It's just a highly sought after date.
Mm-hmm.
It's a variety.
Yes.
So,
yes. It's a red book variety.
It's a variety in effect. Absolutely.
Right. Ryan says, so is this the main way of counterfeiting coins, modifying existing coins, or are they striking coins in dies?
Oh, they're striking coins from dies. And again, some of the ones I've shown in the past, they've gotten very good at striking.
They're only going to get better. They're only going to get better.
You and I talk about that a lot. But one of the tells that we don't talk a lot about, but many of the Chinese coins are, especially the early coins, they're all struck in collars. And so there's a tell there for some of the early copper when you see a very squared edge, similar as you saw to this one. Almost looks like a proof edge, and it certainly should not be on an early copper coin.
So of the counterfeit coins that we see with most key dates, I mean, obviously we know that the 1914D, the 44, is going to be an altered coin. And we're about to show another one that's quite frequently altered. And that is this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is something which, ironically, I reference this article a lot, which is the top 50 counterfeit coins, but normally it's when I'm talking to stackers who say they don't have to worry about it because it's not nearly as counterfeit as numismatics are.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh, well, go look at the top 50 and you go tell me how many non-gold coins are there.
Right.
40 of the 50 coins are gold. So
I can remember buying silver rounds in the early 2000s, and they would be 80% silver. So they weren't worried about, because that's when silver was $3.50, $4 an ounce. They weren't worried about totally scamming you out of fake. They were selling you 80% silver.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at the, I always go back to this because it's one of my favorite gold coins. But there's a Russian coin, that it's numismatic value. They used to take the old Indian gold and warm it up and then overstamp it with the Russian one. They would use the gold. It would test gold, but there was so much money in the numismatic Russian coin that particular, they were fine because, you're talking about $1,000 per coin just by heating it up and putting that new item on it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Parviz, what's up, bud? Good to see you here. And so there are situations where just because the metal content tests correctly doesn't mean it's authentic. And so I use this quite frequently when talking to stackers to remind them this is why you need to know numismatics. Right?
Well, this was the day most people just did ping tests, and they would pass the ping tests. It wasn't until they really got scrutinized that there was a guy in Fort Lauderdale that bought tons of them. I think Azer knows the story on that. Bought a lot of them, and he was the one that ended up finding that he had gotten nipped for 10%. So that would be a great collectible. I wish I had one now.
So, Jack, let's talk about the 1909. Obviously, you see this image here, and you got to chuckle a little bit.
I know I did.
Outside of the fact that it's been cleaned with, you ever seen those videos where the Indian guy sits there and takes every possible chemical solution and cleans the coin and tells you how much better it looks?
And a Brillo pad.
Yeah, there you go. That's this coin.
Exactly.
Yeah, horrible. So you want to talk a little bit about this, and let's kind of break this one down?
Sure. This one was just within the last few days on eBay. And we've been tracking a group of coins. Most of them are Morgans. And Jack Riley knows those very well, some of the Morgans. But there's a main counterfeit source in China, and all of their holders look alike. And even though we talk about them, they haven't done anything to change the holders. And so that's one of the first things. In fact, if you go down a little bit further, I think I got a larger image of this.
Yeah, that's the first thing I look for.
The PCGS insignia is missing in the lower corner. That's common for these. The label is actually a stick-on label. The barcode is nonsense. It doesn't scan. But this is a good picture of the coin too, and the Brillo pad approach to it. I mean, it obviously looks pretty bad.
That's right.
The cert number and I think I got an image of the reverse at the bottom down here too. You can scroll down just a bit. There it is. And then this one looks shinier on the back side of it. Doesn't look as Brillo padded as the other one. The images weren't very good. It was hard to blow them up, but it looks like a sharp end. So that obviously is not correct either. And then going down a little bit farther, this is actually the genuine coin. So that cert number, it's a good cert. And a lot of times these do use good certs. And that's an image of the genuine coin. And obviously there's no match between those two.
Yeah. And again, for known positions, right? It's very important that you understand the Midmark style and the position. That is one of the first things you should always do when you're looking at certifying a coin or authenticating a coin, excuse me, is look at that Midmark, look at that placement, make sure you got the right one. And as we talked about, Mike, I don't remember if it was when we did the Father's Day one. There are images out there that show not only for the 1909S, but for the 1916D Mercury dime that show more pictures than there actually are combinations of die pairings. And what you have to remember when you're looking at those is that in some cases, they're showing you a counterfeit coin, or they're showing you one where the image is actually just another one of the other coins. It's just closer. So it appears to be a little bit different. So when you're utilizing resources, make sure you check with somebody to make sure that the image that you're referencing is a good one. Because even people who know what the hell is going on in this community, you can look at some of their stuff, and Jack knows exactly who I'm talking about without being said. They have images where they have 6, for like this, they have 5, and there's not 5 pairings of this coin. There's only 4. And so you've got to be very careful the resources that you utilize and make sure that you get good, solid information. If you ever have a question when you're buying a key date coin, stop, reach out to somebody. Let's get some information in your hands. Do your research before you go. Know what you're looking for. Know what your Midmark looks like. Know the positioning of the items that are there. And then ask questions. If you don't get that warm fuzzy, walk away from the cell, right? Again, if a coin shop, and Mike, you can confirm this, if a coin shop gets pissed off at you because you challenge them on, hey, I want to validate that this is authentic. Can you walk through this? Can we test my gold? Can we test my silver? Can we do that? If they get upset with you, go find another coin shop.
I agree. That's on them.
Okay.
Yep.
And
I will tell you, I had a guy who bought half a roll of what do you call them? Britannias, gold Britannias. Right. So they're 1 ounce gold coins. And he sat on my counter and did a specific gravity test on every single coin.
Now that's overkill, but I'll guarantee you, you can't tweak that. You can't tweak that test, right? You're going to get genuine ratings. Tiger Stacker loves that thing. And it's a little overkill, but here's the thing. As a buyer or as a seller, depending upon what level you're in, you want to buy from trusted sources. And they want, and again, I talk about the integrity that I've seen at Harlan J. Burke with the stuff that they've done and looking at the way that they've handled stuff. The only thing you guys have in life is your name. Right. And so as
a reputation.
Yeah, well, but that's your name. Right. And so it's very important. If you're at somewhere and they won't do that for you or they won't work with you, then you know, it's a telltale sign you probably should go somewhere else.
Well,
so
I mean, look, I'll say the opposite though. I also had in another shop that I worked in a gentleman that would come in and he would, you know, pay just what everybody else did for a raw silver eagle, and he wanted to pick through the entire roll, and I just told him flat out no. So I mean, there are places where I draw the line. You know, if your issue is what we're dealing with, then by all means, you know, it's like we stand behind what we sell. You can test it all you want. I got no problem. I'll help you test it. I'll show you, how to test it, all those kind of things.
Well, the difference in that is it's a $35,000 sale against a $25 sale or $35 sale.
Well, it's a $25 sale, and you want to cherry pick my stuff.
Right.
Get away.
Well, but so that goes to etiquette. And, I'm going to talk to Mike about this. If you guys bowl, there's a bowler's etiquette. If you play darts, there's a dart etiquette. If you're going to go to a coin shop or a coin show, there's an etiquette. And it's not written anywhere. It's just common courtesy. If you're going to cherry pick somebody, buy something from them.
And don't beat them up.
And
don't beat them up.
Yeah, try not to, again, if you're there and you try to find some stuff like that, then by God, treat them with the dignity you would want somebody to treat you with. Now, I'm going to jump before it disappears in chat real quick. I want to answer something. And this is something that Ryan in the vertical stream said. Isn't cleaning an absolute no-no on collector's coins? Yes.
Well, okay. Can I
No,
qualify it?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm just kidding. Absolutely, you can qualify it.
So here's the difference between cleaning and conserving, right? Cleaning shows evidence of the cleaning. If you can help a coin without changing it and without disturbing it, it's okay to do it. So like if you want to run a coin under, distilled water, never a problem. If you want to soak certain coins in acetone, that's one of the easiest ways to get those fake mint marks off.
Yeah, or wax or whatever.
Yeah, or lacquer or whatever is on it. I mean, so there are certain things that you could do, but it's like take the Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. Know what you're doing, because man, you can mess up coins by doing the wrong things to them.
Yeah.
I think the best piece of information or the best piece of advice I got going into this business was 5 words. Know what you don't know. Very important. Know what you don't know.
So I'm going to further caveat this. And the reason that I do this is because there's a lot of discussion regarding this particular topic, because things change in time. It used to be okay for people to dip their coins.
And people still do it. Dealers still dip coins. And some of them are successful and some of them aren't.
If you can tell, it wasn't done correctly.
Well, and now there is technology that busts some of them. From what I hear, NGC and PCGS both, that XRF gun that they have there, it'll actually pick up solvent.
So, Tiger Stacker just dropped 5 gifted memberships. I need to acknowledge that. Thank you so much, bud. Krista Mercil, Smith, Tight D Basso Bino, Lady Bluegrass, Des Logic, and the Broke Stacker. You guys all got a gifted membership. I'm actually going to thank Tiger. I appreciate that. Really do appreciate your support, bud. If you guys haven't, go check out one of our Stack Collector episodes. It's something that he and I do, both for stacking and collecting. So much love, brother. Appreciate the support. And sorry, folks, I didn't mean to cut you back off.
But Mike's absolutely right. If it's done properly, it's not cleaning, it's conserving.
Right. You can't tell if it's done correctly. So cleaning is a no-no, but conservation is not.
But so let's go back there for a little bit, because there's a couple of things that people need to understand when doing this. It doesn't matter if you know what's going on. Okay. If there was a previous cleaning that was done incorrectly and you dip a coin, you can totally ruin that coin. That coin can turn black in minutes. I think
that goes to knowing what you're doing.
But yes, but again, there's still things that, as somebody who received a coin, you get a coin, and I'll use this coin. I'm going to take this off really quickly because we kind of stopped talking about that. I'll use this coin as an example. Okay, it's nice 21 piece dollar, key date. And if you look at this, oops, who did I lose? I lost Jack. If you look at this, you'll see that it's definitely got some nasty toning on it.
Right.
Now, if I were to dip that coin, there's a chance, if I were to crack it out and dip that coin, there's a chance that that entire coin could turn black in a year. Right?
Yes.
And so, because I don't know, and it doesn't show clean, so it's not something that comes back as it's clean. But again, you've got to be very careful doing this.
Can I see that coin on the screen? I'd also say there's a fairly high chance that within the next 100 years, it's going to be black anyway.
That's right. Well, here's a thing people don't realize. There is a time limit on these holders. Like PCGS, their guarantee, if you don't reholder them like every 10 years, they don't guarantee, and on copper, they don't guarantee it at all anymore, any oxidation problems. That used to be, now it's like a guarantee it for the first year, and it's not really a guarantee. Is that right, Mike?
I don't think they guarantee it at all anymore.
All right. And I know that, like, I got a friend that has a real high grade Lincoln Cent collection, and he gets them reholdered every 5 years.
I'll be honest with you. It really has more to do with where you store them than anything else.
Yeah, well, plastic is permeable by oxygen, so anything that's affected by
everything. Right. These aren't airtight, though.
Yeah.
So it's more about where you store them. If you take these and you store them in a low humidity environment where there isn't any sulfur dioxide, where there isn't any wood or anything like that, they'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah, the cedar chest thing's a bad idea for people storing silver.
Well, wood of any kind is really bad. Paper is really bad.
Yeah, that used to be the big thing, though. I got this cedar chest, and I'm going to fill it all up, and then everything turns black.
Well, think about how many kids put their coins into cigar boxes.
Yep, and those are cedar.
So I want to go back to a question that Jack Riley asked. And he said, Russ had mentioned this before, but does your shop sell contemporary counterfeits? In any case, he showed me some of the bust-haves in a video, I recall. And the answer to that is no, we can't sell them. That would bring the Secret Service to our door. That would be a real problem. Now, I will tell you this. I am currently in negotiations with what is it? The ACTF, the Anti-Counterfeiting Task Force.
Yeah, ACF, yeah.
And we're going to start marking coins copy for people when they come in with counterfeit coins if they want to keep them.
That's actually not a bad idea, because there was a lot of people that were reproducing coins that were putting copy on them. Like Ken Potter did that at the Royal Oak Mint for a long time. He would make contemporary copies of like 55 double die.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it conform to the Hobby Protection Act.
Yeah.
And gets counterfeits off the street. But when I talked about Deisher about that, she thought it was a good idea. And Joe Panessa has been kind enough to make me a machine.
I think the Jacks here just skipped a heartbeat or two.
Oh, no, not at all. I talked to Beth about it as well. I've been at coin shows where her table is set up to do that, but I don't think anybody's going to take a Henning nickel and let somebody stamp copy on it.
No, or should they?
No, well, but here's again, this is where explaining to people what should be done on a coin and why you don't want to do that on all of them. This is part of the commentary that needs to occur, because there are, and I go back to 3 primary counterfeits when you're thinking about very famous ones. Obviously, Henning. You look at the Henning nickel, and you look at the Omega Man, right? So you need to make sure that people are aware that, you don't want to stamp copy on something like that. But how do you, because you can't, how do you get one of those without being able to buy it?
How do I get? Well, okay. So I walk this really fine line at work sometimes. Excuse me just a second. Oh, thank you. I walk this really fine line at work, and it is one of those things where I have to educate people on what they have. But in the case of them having a counterfeit, it is really best to take it out of circulation. And so I often do the best I can to show them and prove to them that it's counterfeit. I generally ask them if they'll donate the piece to me for educational purposes. And a lot of people do. In the case where they seem like they're kind of, it's like I might pay a couple of bucks just to get it off the street. But then once I get it off the street, it's off the street and it's done. And I'm going to use it for showing people and for educating them and stuff like that. And to that end, the United States Secret Service is okay with us having a huge cabinet of counterfeit coins. The black cabinet at Harlan Burke is legendary. But they also know that we will not sell them.
Well, yeah, and that's really important, right? You need to have good relationships. And I know, Jack, you've had relationships with different Secret Service personnel. They've actually came to you and asked you to consult on various cases. And so having those relationships, but again, most of us aren't in a coin shop. Most of us are not going to do that. So the question is, and I know we see this through eBay, and we see places like this where they sell those items. And in some cases, you actually want to buy them. But if somebody was looking to get something like a Henning nickel, it's a known counterfeit. It's also a collectible. Could you legally sell that?
A Henning nickel, I believe I can. It does get kind of sticky. It really does.
You're really splitting hairs there. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, and a lot of it, again, the law comes down to intent.
Right.
Are you trying to deceive somebody and basically sell it as a genuine item?
So, Jack, that's exactly where I was going. Thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what I wanted somebody to say. The intent is not to deceive. Okay. Now, I have had people send me coins, and I've actually paid for a couple coins, not like the Jack Big or Jack Old and Jack Young. They have spent good money for counterfeits. I've spent a little bit of money on a couple of counterfeits because I wanted really decent, solid pieces to show somebody. And what was the intent there? Well, it wasn't for redistribution. It was to teach that coin. It's to teach the history of that. It's to teach what you're looking for. It's to teach and help people understand what it is that's going on. So again, ANA, right? You talk about the counterfeits that the ANA has. They go through that stuff. They show these things. I don't think you can buy teaching sets from them anymore, can you? You used to be able to at one point. Doesn't the ANA put stuff together for people who want to do counterfeit education?
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it's a fluid thing with the ANA all the time as far as their teaching kits, and a lot of stuff changed after the pandemic. Okay,
I know that they used to do something. I don't know if they'd still done it, but and so what is important here is deception, right? The intent to deceive. Buying a coin that's, and Jack, you guys have seen this quite frequently. There are people who try to sell things that honestly, and I don't mean, oh, I didn't know, because there's those too, but genuinely, honestly don't know that the coin that they're trying to sell is fake. They just don't have a clue. Right. And there's no, if the law caught them, they'd be like, well, this is, you need to educate yourself on this. We'll take you, but they would have to prove intent. Now, the guy from Canada who bought $40,000 worth of counterfeit nickels and put them into circulation, his ass went to jail. Why? Well, because there was intent. You don't buy 40,000 of these and then try to put these into circulation and not have intent. And so they're looking at big counterfeit schemes. There's a lot of big fish to fry. But again, what's important is understanding what your requirement is. And it is a sticky situation. Every time we talk about counterfeits, that question comes up. How come you can buy a Henning nickel? Southern Coin says that you can't sell Henning nickels on Whatnot. I didn't know that. Probably because it's a known counterfeit. But
I don't know if you can sell them on eBay either.
I've seen them on eBay. I actually
I've seen a lot of stuff on eBay.
Amanda from LiveCoin Q&A bought one on eBay. So I want to get to a question, and then I want to get back to these key dates. We kind of deviated a little bit, which is fine. Not a big deal. It's Sunday. It's what we do. But Senior Monedas said, I have uncirculated nickel rolls, or I have uncirculated nickel rolls starting from 58s all the way through 70. They've never been opened. I can see through the ends that some have visible steps. Should I go through them, or should I hold them like I've been doing? That's a great question, and it's totally up to you. What are you guys' recommendations on something like that?
Well, it depends on the year. A lot of those years are like nearly impossible to get full step coins on. But that being said, the chances of them being full step coins is really, rare too. As far as nickels go, 58 through 64, the nickels are pretty spongy. So it would depend. I don't think, unless you got anything super high grade, that there's anything that would be obscenely valuable in there. So it would be depending on what you do and what you like in the hobby. That would be how I would go at it. I would probably open some of them. But
so
that's me. You know what I do.
My question would be this. What is your intent with the coins? Are they to keep a really good set of unopened, uncirculated nickels? Is that your goal? Or is your goal to collect a bunch of them, and now that you have some, you want to start doing coin searches, coin roll hunts? You want to start looking at those items. What is your strategy? What is your goal, right? Because if you want to open it, open it. If you want to keep them, right? There's no right answer here. There's no wrong answer here.
That's right. The only good answer I can give is if you're doing it to get rich, you're doing it with lottery odds. So you might as well just play the lottery and save the rolls.
Yeah, but what's important here is understanding what you're looking at. So do your research first, right? Go through. Because if you have a set, and I'm just going to say this, I don't know the answer. Let's say you have a set of 59 nickels, and you go look at Variety Vista, you go look at Wexler, you go look at some of these other places, and you don't see anything on that particular roll. You can search them to see if you can identify or find something, but make sure you have a really good understanding of the design before you start looking at it. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
In a lot of those dates, if you get a really great coin in full steps, it's a valuable coin, but the chances are very slim.
Yeah. Now, he says that there's a likelihood a couple of them are very close. And then should I send him in for grading? In most cases, no.
That's right.
I won't recommend grading. Now, if you already have an idea of grading, you already kind of know, you can determine an MS63 from an MS66 in a nickel. If you're good with that, and you can do that fairly reliably, and you're looking at one of those and you have an ender that you know is coming across as a 66 and it has full steps, you might consider it if you want to. But I would make a recommendation no. Simply because it only takes a little tap on one of the stairs to ruin your 5 steps.
Has to be a MS67 with full steps.
Yeah. So the answer, Senior Monedas, is no. I would not grade them. But coin searching, it's completely up to you. Whatever tickles your fancy, right? If you want to search them, don't let anybody come behind you and say you're a fool for doing that. Because if you get enjoyment out of it, then you're here what the hobby's for. Okay. Now, there are some things that I would say don't open until you have really good knowledge of what's potentially in there. Because there are certain things that they're worth more money unopened. I'm not going to
throw 2 cents, Frosty.
Throw 10 or 15 in there if you want to.
Okay. So that was kind of the point I was getting to, is that some people will pay more money for an adventure to have fun, right? They will take a chance on something if it is, so you have these original rolls. There are certain dates that are really difficult to find with full steps, and there are a couple of dates that have never been found with full steps.
Yeah, the early 60s are notoriously difficult.
Yes.
For full steps.
And 67 and 69S have never, ever had a full step coin. So with that said, the question is, do you want to have the fun or do you want to sell the fun? Because you're holding these by the roll. The only reason I can assume that you have them by the roll is because you felt that there was more value in them being in that roll, in there being a mystery, in there being something that you couldn't just see. And I believe you're correct. The question is how much, and how much of a premium is it? How much is it worth to somebody? And, now, if one of these coins happens to be in it, it's stupid money. But the reason it's stupid money is because these coins have been around for over 50, 60 years now, and nobody has ever found one.
That's right.
It's not like nobody's been looking.
You look at full step, 61p full step, even in MS63, $700.
Well, it's 61D.
There's another one, yeah. Full step, 2500, yeah.
Right? A 65 plain is actually rare with full steps. Not a special mid-set point, but a regular 65. And what's funny is they changed the hubs in 67.
That's right. And then they changed the cent hub in 69.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the reason that the master dies were used so much.
Yeah,
they were just distorted.
Porches. And once the steps are gone off the hubs, you can forget it. They're just not existent anymore. So it's one of those where me as a dealer working for a major dealer, I know that the odds of these having what might be in them are really low. And so I wouldn't wade into that pool.
And that's where I put lottery type odds of finding coins. And then you really have to be sharp.
Lottery.
And I'm not a big grader, but I can tell you that if you grade coins, you really have to know. Like if you're going to grade a bunch of nickels, you have to know the anatomy of a nickel. You have to know.
Nickels in particular, I will tell you, are easier for some and harder for others. And it's because, first off, you're dealing with a planchet that's 25% nickel, which is it's hard.
It's very hard.
It's 75% copper, so it doesn't strike quite as well as you'd think.
Right.
A lot of times they're not struck with enough force because they want die life. And so because of that, you have to learn to figure out what is leftover unstruck planchet and what is nicks and circulation wear and bag marks and things like that.
That's right. In the die life on nickels, that's the lowest of anything as far as I know, except for maybe like Ike dollars.
Yeah. So, and for that reason, they backed off on it. And so nickels are lightly struck, at least, per se. And so, that knowing how to grade them is one thing, but there's reasons why you don't find them. And those are the general reasons. Now, is it possible, that they had a hub, one single hub or one single die that ended up getting, all the steps pressed into it? It's possible. So many of these were saved by the roll that if they're out there, they're going to be in high grade condition.
Yep. Well, I've got 1,000 rolls of nickels sitting around my house.
So the question you got to ask yourself with this is, do you want to cash in on the mystery, or do you want to sell the mystery?
And that's where I differ from most people. I have this thing, I don't know. I just love looking at this stuff. It relaxes me, takes my brain into a new world. So I do it for what I consider a good reason.
Well, look, it's like, do it for your reason. That's all that's important.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what matters. Remember, folks, unless you're doing this to make money, okay, and if you want to make $1 million in the coin hobby, start with 2 million.
That's the easiest way.
Yep.
Right.
And so the important thing here is that this is a hobby, right? The purpose of this is to have fun. Now, we're going to tell you, quote unquote, best practice. Okay. Don't grade coins if you have to ask if I should get it graded. Okay. Generally, say again.
I love that rule.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. But if you really want to get something graded, I can't tell you how to spend your money. I can suggest, but I can't tell you how to do it, right? That's not what we're here to do. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're here to give you options, talk to you about pros, cons, and then you make up your mind. Now you have a little bit of an educated opportunity to say, ooh, I didn't think about that aspect of it. Right. And so in that regard, that's what this channel is about. That's what we're here to do. Now, with that, there are certain things we will tell you not to do. Okay. Number one, don't go buying a key date 1921 peace dollar from Temu for $29.99. Don't do that. That's bad juju. You will not get an authentic coin.
Buying American coins from Temu in general is probably not your best.
If the country of origin is Korea, India, or China, it's very likely that it's not an authentic coin. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't find authentic US coins in those areas, because you can, but it's most likely not going to be authentic, especially if they have 40 of them and they've sold 1,250 in the last 90 days. Right. So it's important. Bob Smith said, do all BU coins grade 61 or better?
No, there are some that grade 60.
That's right.
Let's go back in this. So one thing I want you to be aware of, folks, is in the description of this, Jack has sent me some articles for key dates. It has been put in the description. There's like 5 or 6 different links there. It's there. You can go back to the video, look at it anytime you want to. And then when we're done on my community page, the sheet, it's not, again, there's holes in it. And matter of fact, Mike, you said you wanted to talk about sheets and looking at stuff. Let's kind of move into that aspect of it while I show this sheet. And
I just wanted to point out some anomalies. So it's like, for example, and I think this is one of the best examples. Now I'm going to ask the chat. So this might be a good giveaway for you.
Okay.
Might be a good chance for you to do a giveaway. I'm going to ask the chat that the Barber Quarter has a very well-known key date, 1901S. The 1913S is the lowest mintage of all the Barber Quarters. Why is the 01S the key date?
You're asking chat?
I am asking chat.
Okay.
So of all the Barber Quarters, the lowest mintage is the 1913S, and yet the 1901S is the key date. Why is the 01S the key date?
Dandy Dave says survivor numbers. Bob Smith,
Well,
potentially
that's
an error.
right. It's on the right. That's on the right path. Surviving numbers.
Not many around. Last one done at San Francisco. San Fran had a fire at the Mint.
And, yes, they did, but I think there was something a little bit more causal.
The 1906
There
earthquake.
Here's your winner. 1906 San Francisco earthquake.
Did it just destroy existing?
A lot of stuff disappeared just straight into the
Right.
ground. Banks and things like that. So a lot of change and a lot of coin.
So, Christopher November, I want you to do me a favor. Exclamation point email. Okay, exclamation point email. It's going to pull up my email address. Send me an email. I've got one of my Frostbyte coins, poker chips that I'm going to give away, and I'm going to give your name to the dime challenge that we're doing. So if you'll put that in there, send me that. You have until the end of the week, as in next Saturday, to email me to claim that. After that, I don't go back and redo that. So go ahead and put that in there. I'm actually going to do this command for Jack Riley. Jack Riley, your name got pulled in there and you just won. So I want you to send me an email as well. I don't know if it's going to work on this end. Let's go check and see if it's going to be on this one. I need to write that down. I don't think it's going to. Oh, it is going to do it on that side. Okay, let me see. Frank McCain, outstanding. Exclamation point email. All right, and we'll put those on there. I need to open a sheet and write these down. I'll do a couple more here. I'm going to do a few more giveaways. Again, for those of you who are not tracking this, I did hit 6K. Thanks to all of your generous support, so I appreciate that. So we had Jack Riley. We had
Christopher Nova.
And then on the other one, we had Frank McCain. All right, so that's 3. I'll do a couple more. Hey, my mom's in chat. Hi, Mom. How are you? Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Mrs. Frosty.
Greetings from Oregon. Holy smokes, I forgot where she was. Cannon Beach, Oregon.
Wow. Forget where your own mom is?
Yeah. That's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, she lives in an amazing place. You guys ever seen The Goonies? Remember that movie?
Yes.
So The Goonies, at the very end, when the ship comes out, you see the ship and then you see Haystack Rock there in the front, and she lives like a mile from Haystack Rock. So beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. He says, "You're killing me, Smalls." Hey, Red Silver, I got your email. Fire me back. Remind me what that was, because I don't know if I've sent it or not. I have it based off of what I sent. So send me a message and I'll double check that. I'll get you something out. Is that north or south of Lincoln City? I don't know. She'll have to say. All right, so let's get back into the key dates. Do you guys have any questions regarding that? I know we've talked about a bunch of different things. This sheet, I'll give you guys. I like this. It opens up the 1913. It's clandestine. I don't know that I should actually keep this in here. I think I'm going to remove this one. It is a key date, but it's not something that any of us are ever going to get a hold of. Hey, you guys! Exactly. That's exactly what I was referencing, Littlefoot. 949 with the $5 super chat. Good morning. Hope you're doing well, bud. Thank you for your support. Guarantee, I really do appreciate you. What's your guys' favorite key date? Let's go ahead and do that. Jack Riley, what's your favorite key date? Jack Young, let's do you. You're on panel. What's your favorite key date?
My favorite key date, probably 1909S BDB.
And what is it about that you like the most?
I like the number of counterfeits that are out there. I like going through the research and going through the positional images that shows where the S should be, where the VDB should be, and how it should look. The fact that there should be a narrow channel N instead of the sharp N, and it's the number one counterfeited coin. So being a counterfeit guy, it's one of the ones that I see on eBay in all different varieties from good to bad.
What about you, Mike?
Well, I don't know if I can narrow it down to one. Can I narrow it to two?
Certainly.
Okay, so I like them for different reasons. The 1921 peace dollar, because one, I just really love the coin. I believe it's a beautiful coin. And with the high relief that it didn't have any other time in its life, the coin is truly different. And I think was exactly what Roosevelt was asking for when he wanted redesign. But most importantly to me is the fact that we almost didn't have a 21 piece dollar. And all of the mintage, the 1 point, I think it was 0.032 million of them that was made, were all made in one day. December 28th, 1921.
Oh yeah, that's one of the stories about the 21 that I absolutely that a lot of people don't realize, that it was only a one-day run.
One right? Struck, 1 day.
Yep.
Then the other one is because it shows more the human side of the mint and the mint directors. So in 1916, Barber was still the head of the mint. He was still the director, and he really did not want his coins to be replaced, and so he kind of pushed delay on release of the new dime, and he couldn't do anything in Philadelphia. Also, couldn't do anything in San Francisco, but he made sure that Denver did not get dies until Halloween. And it was all ego. And so they started striking 1916D Mercury dimes at Halloween, and that's why there's 264,000 of them.
That's crazy. I know that there's been a lot going through the $50 series that I was doing. There's a lot of contention between like the mint director, the key designer, the key engraver. There's like this triad of discussion, this triad of
Barber did not like artists in general.
Well, he
wanted engravers.
The one thing I have to give Barber credit is that his designs were utilitarian.
That's right. Matter of fact, they were used in Cuba until
and they die life was good. It's like they struck up well. Everything that you wanted in those coins was there.
Yeah, so there are some designs that I like of Barber, but Barber's not one of my favorite designers.
His designs they're all the same to me. I mean, they're very similar. Like I say, Cuban coins to 50, is it 59 when the revolution happened? They're all Barber designed, and they look like Barber coins.
Yeah, he had a very distinctive style. Now, there are some Barber designs that I absolutely love. And when you look at, hold on, I'm going to pull it up real quick. Oh, for heaven's sakes, what was the name of that coin? THS did win on Yankees last night. Congratulations, THS. Rob's Numismatics won too. There were 2 people that come into my channel quite a bit that won on Yankees last night, which is pretty cool. Hold on. I got to pull this up, and I can't remember what the hell the name of it is. It's a pattern coin. The other thing is, this is just me. The barber quarter, the barber half, any kind of wear, it totally loses any interest for me. They've got to be like super pristine. And if you find one that's like proofy or, you know, MS 63, 64, that is a good looking coin. But yeah, it's the Morgan-ish, but I can't remember. I can't find it. I'm going to have to pull it up. I'll put it on there. It was, oh, I can't think of the name. What's, Mike, help me here. It's the pattern coins. What's the pattern?
The Stellas?
No. Paula would know, because she's the one that introduced me to this. What the hell is the name of that? The Judd? Is it the Judd? No.
Well, Judd is the one that does the book on patterns. So they all have the J number.
Okay, so that's not what I'm thinking of. I'll have to figure it out. But there's one that he did that had Golioid. Maybe that's it. Hold on.
Goloid.
I'll know it when I see it.
Sounds like pornography to me.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what it is. Jack. Yeah, no, you spelled it exactly right. Huh?
Nice job, Jack.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It had the Liberty Band. It was just a different design. It was very well done. I'm going to copy an image, and then I'll open it up and I'll show you. Here we go. Let me pull this up and let me share my screen real quick. I'm glad you and I were on the same page, because I tell you, my brain went blank. This coin. I like these. They're different. They're a different take. They look a little bit different. A lot of people can't stand it.
If I'm not mistaken, that's Morgan.
Oh, that is Morgan. Hold on. Wait, which one was I doing then? Was Barber's father? Huh?
Charles Barber.
His father was what, up to 1860 something?
Well, I mean, there was everybody. You had Longacre and you.
Yeah, Barber was the master, the head engraver for. There was a Barber from like the 1860s all the way up to 1917. I think Barber died, and he was still the head engraver.
Well, yeah, and that's why he had so much pull and really didn't want to see that 16 dime. She does kind of look like a flapper.
I'm going to have to find it. I can't. I know which one I'm looking at, but yeah, I can't remember which one it is. I'll have to look at it. I'll find it, and then I'll post a thing on it.
Phil Life. Oh, I can't say the word.
I know one of them has it's the Pharyngean cap with the Liberty and then the race.
Right.
But I can't remember what the other one was. I'll know it when I see it, but I just can't remember. I just can't remember what the name of it is.
Well,
Anyway,
I'll give you a good alternative, Frosty. Since you seem to have a problem with the word Phrygian.
He's not the only one.
Well, no, it's called a Pilius.
that's the Roman word for it.
That's the Roman word for it.
Yeah.
That's what they used to give to slaves when they set them free.
When they set them free. Yeah, that's correct. And there's actually a more ancient version.
So
that
you're
comes
talking
before
about the
Pilius.
Stella?
That's what I thought he was talking about. Was
Yeah,
the
Stella, and then
Stellas.
you've got one that's called the Wash Lady.
Maybe it's the Wash Lady.
And the Wash Lady,
because you guys know I love the Stella. The Stella is my favorite one.
It's a really cool coin.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wash Lady's the one that got the whatever it's called. I'm not even going to go there.
You know, the other ones that I like is the pattern coins. Or not the pattern coins, the Audi dollars. Yeah, that's it. It is the Wash Lady. That was Barber's, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that design. That was the one that he argued over Morgan with.
So yeah, that was William Barber and Morgan arguing.
Okay,
Charles Barber
it's the Wash Lady. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, potty dollars are cool. Paula Bloom is the one that got me into those. Let me pull this up and I will show you. It's not allowing me to do that for some reason. Why not? Interesting. Here, there we go. Let's do this. Sorry, I'm having some technical issues this morning. I apologize.
Technical difficulties beyond.
There we go. That's what I was looking at. I had the wrong design up. That's the one that I was looking at. I like this one. And I like it. And I'm not a huge fan of the Morgan. I like Peace dollars more than I like Morgan dollars. Just that's my personal preference.
Me too.
His font is always the same on all of his coins.
But I like this look better. I don't know if it's the hair and the Liberty. It doesn't have the the Pilius cap. See what I did there? I remembered. Yep. I listened. I just like this design. I think this design is much nicer. But there's been gripes and complaints between designers and engravers and directors since the dawn of time. Yeah, crazy. The Lafayette dollar. Yeah, so when you're talking about Ringmaster Ray, good morning, by the way. When you're talking about the commemorative half dollar series, he had his hands in a lot of those, right? There were quite a few that Barber had his hands in. Same with Morgan. And they didn't totally hate each other. They worked together on a number of those items. But they did... they
were actually quite good friends. They just butted heads at work.
Yeah, they didn't agree on certain design elements. I think Longacre had more issues with people. Yeah.
I just sent you my favorite Barber.
Oh, hold on.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Sorry. I can't believe I just did that out loud. This is why Jack and I are friends.
Absolutely.
This is Barber when he was 3.
With a crayon.
What is that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be 1302?
It's 1902. It's a contemporary, although there's a lot of debate about whether it would have fooled anybody.
Right.
Made on a copper planchet. There's like 5 or less known right now.
You mean there's more than one?
Yes, there are. There's at least 5. And I actually own one, so that one's...
I've never seen one that like that. I mean, it's
that's crazy.
It reminds me of an ancient coin.
It's actually in an ICG holder now. It's one of the things I've done with some of my counterfeits is had ICG put it in their counterfeit holders.
That's actually a good thing that the grading services probably should do. They probably should hit it with the something to, in case somebody breaks it out. Also, that's nice that it's in a counterfeit holder where somebody would know that it's counterfeit.
Yeah, ICG is the only one that does that, and it's funny when I had a meeting with Secret Service several years ago, I actually showed them an image of one, and the Secret Service agent liked it, but he said the same thing you did. You can crack it out.
How well do you know Skip Fazeri?
I consider him a very good friend.
I consider him a friend too. It's like, okay, so I think he would be a phenomenal guest for Frosty.
I'm game for it.
He would be.
Absolutely game for it. So, Jack, you have access to this coin better than I do. So I'm sending you I'm going to drop this down. I'm going to send you a request really quick to see if you can pull up probably your fun from fakes. I'm going to tell you my favorite.
Sure.
And then can you send me the image of that one? Is that
are you PMing it?
I am.
Okay, let me get back in Facebook.
That's my favorite one. He's going to see it. He's going to laugh. See, told you. I love that. I love that coin. It just makes me happy.
Well, see, I've got the 1919 piece dollar. I don't have the 1796 one.
Oh, you don't have that? Okay, I was hoping you'd have that. I know it's on the Fun on Fakes.
You got to get some pictures from Chuck of the 1921 CC and the 1928 Morgan that he's got.
Yeah. So when you guys are looking at some of these things, so the one that I'm doing, it's a piece dollar, but it's actually got a date of 1796.
Those are rare.
Those are
very rare. Yes,
they're actually becoming more and more common.
That's true too.
Yeah, it's funny. The older they get, the more of them that are created. The other one that was really fun was doing the one regarding the Washington quarter that was created in 1881, which just so happened to be the year that Jack Riley says, "Can I send you one?" Absolutely. Fire away, brother. The one that was funny was the Washington quarter that was created in the year of the artist's birth, which
I think it was 1865.
Something like that. Yeah, it made me laugh.
I had one at work.
Yeah, it's kind of just one of those things where it's like, oh my God. So Jack Riley's sending me one. This is, we talked about this a lot with his micro O's. This is the 1901 micro O.
1901 micro.
This is one of his coins.
But it's not.
Say again?
But it's not. It's one of the fake micros.
Yep, it is not real.
Well, didn't they find out that all the micro O's are fake?
Yep.
Yep.
What I thought.
Which I have a few in my book that have been there for a long time, and it's like, oh, I didn't know I had those. Actually took pictures and sent them off. But yeah, again, when we're talking obviously we've shifted from hold on.
Oh, he said that was the wrong reverse. That was the regular O. That was not the micro O.
There we go. I went the wrong direction.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not a micro O.
The 1880 and the 1899 are genuine. John Shank, when you do that, enter your zip code for the exclamation point weather. I think that works. I haven't done that for a while, but yeah, there's a lot of these that are fun to collect and look at. Not all micro O's. Which ones, Jack Riley? 1880 and 1899 are genuine. The rest of them are fake. Is that correct? This is the die, the transfer die. Okay, yeah. So any micro O that's not 1880 or 1899 is not genuine. Okay, cool. So any other questions? And for those of you, I got to say a couple thank yous. Big Bud Shepherd, One Primal, and Pirate Pete. Thank you guys for subscribing. Definitely appreciate the support for that today. And I apologize I didn't announce that when they came in. Harvest is the Stella. Yeah, the Stella's gorgeous. Absolutely love the Stella. Mine, I'm a piece dollar person, so the 21 and the 28. Like Mike stated earlier, the reason that I like the 21, you guys know me, I like the stories. And when you look at 1 million coins being produced in a day and knowing that it almost didn't happen, it's a pretty cool story. So I like the 21, but my favorite kind of key date, which I don't even know if it's technically a key date, I think it's considered a pattern coin, would be the first gold eagle. Is it the 1849? And it's 48. It's just a phenomenal piece.
Can't forget the 16p Standing Liberty quarter either. That's got a nice story behind it.
Also a pattern.
Also a pattern, yeah.
Made a lot of them though.
There's well, the 17, you know, you have the type 1, type 2, obviously, what you're talking about, SLQs.
Yeah.
And so there's just a lot of neat stories. And that's why, you know, if you look back at a lot of what I do, it's story based. Because I enjoy that aspect of the numismatics, right? That's my part.
It's funny because the eras that you have at the U.S. Mint, you know, it's like the beginnings of the U.S. Mint. They faced this one set of challenges, you know, as far as finding people, finding the money, finding everything to start it, get it done. Then towards like the Longacre years, you have all these restrikes and this corruption and people making coins for collectors, you know, that didn't exist, and fantasy coins and stuff like that. But then you get to, you know, the early 1900s when you're like, oh, okay, this is where modern, and you start looking at some of the things that they did with coins, the sandblast proofs and the ultra high relief St. Gaudens coins and the regular high relief, the wire rims, I mean, just all these different things that they did with coins. And I always thought like the sandblast finish was one of the cooler.
Moving into a new phase of the Industrial Revolution at that point.
Yeah, because they're striking the coins and then they're sandblasting them after they're struck.
Yeah,
you know, that's kind of weird.
Well, one thing that I like, and you're talking about the wire rim and the high relief,
and the ultra high relief.
Yeah, well, what I found fascinating is, in order to get those strikes for high relief, they had to strike those things 8-9 times in order to get that design element to show that the way that they wanted it to. And when you look at that coin, you know, you see good, solid, beautiful lines. And it wasn't just a nice design, it was intended, right? And the intentionality of that particular coin, I know that they call it the most beautiful coin, and I've seen some amazing coins. But the intentionality behind not only the design, but the strike of the St. Gaudens Double Eagle it's a phenomenal design. And St. Gaudens has done a lot of really cool pieces. Known for his sculpture, he developed a lot of really cool things. But one thing that
you don't hear stories of Barber not liking him because he was especially not fond of sculptors.
But what, you know, what's funny is the St. Gaudens was not, the design that we see was not the originally intended design. They had created something else, and they ended up using that on a different coin, but they ended up going with this other design. When I did the discussion on the Horde Rick Springfield's collection that's coming out, they're going to start. I think they've already started the silent part, but they're actually doing the other bid. One of the things in looking at that was that that initial design element wasn't the original intended one. He actually had another idea for the obverse of this coin and ended up not doing it and ended up going with the, because it was the Indian Princess was the original, was the original, is it the Indian Princess or it's the Indian was the original design for that. And then they ended up shifting that and utilizing the standing liberty that we're familiar with now. Really cool story, but it's the stories that I like. Those are the things that I like to uncover and find and share, or those little stupid bits of information that nobody else knows or they forgot about, or you know what I mean? It got really quiet in here.
Yeah, I'm scanning out that. Sorry.
Yeah, so actually no one, I'm glad you said that because I just pulled that information up. So let me read you what I've got here on that particular one. I didn't forget about you. We just kind of got sidetracked.
Again.
It's the nature of the thing, you know.
It's always here. It just happens.
Like squirrel.
Yeah, look.
I will derail faster than anybody.
All right, let me pull this. And so the information that I'm pulling this up on is on Numista. So if you want to gather this information, let me pull this over. Now, the one thing that I will say about this is that I don't think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that you can always trust Numista for dollar amounts. I don't think that the dollar amounts
value, you mean?
Yeah, value.
No, I agree with you there. It's horrible for value.
So you're not going to be able to get some good information, but Numista is definitely where you want to go.
It's composition, which is more important sometimes.
Say that again.
It gives you composition, which is more important sometimes. It helps you figure out whether or not what you got in front of you is real.
Yeah, so it's a really good site for that end. Now they've talked about the various things. They talk about the number of coins that were minted, that there were not very many of them that were redeemed before they were melted down. So there are a very limited number of these. But again, I don't know that I would trust the prices on these, but it's a really cool coin. And if this is one of the coins that you were referencing, this is a pretty neat one. Wink, I didn't get your email. Hold on. Oh, it's not because I'm not signed into the other one. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't have the other one on there. I don't see it, Wink. I have one from THS. I don't see an email from you, Wink. You'll have to resend. But hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that that is the information that you were looking for. I'm going to put this link in your chat. if you want to look at that. And then if you want to find out more information on value of that, I'm sure that we can get you in contact with Mike. Go to Harlan J. Burke and look for Mike Nodelman. Give them a call, and I'm sure that they can connect you with somebody who can help you find out some specifics on that. Probably looking at a gray sheet or something.
I'm familiar with the coins.
Okay. So
don't clean them.
Say again?
Don't clean them.
Oh yeah, that's no worries. Happy to help. Let's see. Any other questions? Freaking awesome was like, that's a quick show. It did go by pretty fast. I can't believe it's already 10 o'clock. Are there any additional questions? And again, I know that we kind of bounce all over the place. This is what we do. Sundays, it's kind of just general. We talk about a topic, but we never stay on topic. We try to as best we can. Is there anything else before we start to wrap stuff up? First off, I got to say to my panel, thank you guys so much for coming up and hanging out with me today. You guys have done a lot to further my knowledge, and I always have fun with you guys being here. So Jack Riley for being in chat. Thank you so much. Jack Young, thank you for being here. Absolutely. I always appreciate you coming up. Red Silver, member for 10 months. Thanks for being a member, bud. I appreciate you. You know why Red Silver is a member? Because he had to buy one because he couldn't get gifted one. He tried and tried and tried. He finally said, screw it. I'm going to buy the damn thing. So I appreciate Red Silver. Good guy. Mike, as always, brother, I appreciate you coming up and hanging out with us today.
It is my pleasure.
That was a lot of fun. Eric, the staple, thanks for the conversation, as always.
As always, I love it, and I'll see everybody in the coin neighborhood.
949 with a another one. Yes, please. Coin Show Ancients, Aaron Burke.
Well, okay. So Coin Show podcast, if you like US stuff and just general coin banter, nonsense like you hear from me here, Coin Show podcast, you can find it on YouTube at youtube.com/Coin Show podcast. But today we are recording at noon a brand new episode of the Ancient Coin Podcast with Aaron Burke, and that will be released this afternoon. So if you're a big fan of the Ancient Coin Podcast, there's a new episode coming this afternoon.
Outstanding. We do have somebody that says, I have a couple questions. What's up, Seven Stacks? How you doing, my friend? Frank McCain says, I want to ask a couple questions about nickels and full steps. Frank, fire the questions in chat, please. We'll be happy to answer those. I know you mentioned something about seeing something in 69 with full steps. I'm not sure if it was done, then I apologize.
There has not been any 1969 S's. Unless the circulation strike, not the proof strike, but the circulation strike.
Christopher November, he says, my first time on your show, love it. Outstanding. And congratulations on your win. Please don't forget to email me. Okay? ! Email. Send me that email, and I will get this out to you. I appreciate it. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just answering the question. 69S, there is no known certified full steps for the circulation strike, not the proof, for circulation strike. They don't grade proofs with full steps because they all have it.
Well, and that's an important distinction to make, and I'm glad you said that. A lot of people, and again, do you guys know how to tell the difference between proof coins and business strikes? Outside of the luster. Oh, Jack took off. Thanks for being here, Jack. You can look at the rims. It's really important. Look at the strike.
So here is the one thing that you can hold out hope for if you are a Jefferson nickel collector. It's possible that sometime in the mid-60s that somebody used a reverse die to make circulation strike coins. And if that happens, then you got a better shot at full steps, but that's about it.
So Frank says, I have several that are early dates, including a 69S with full steps. I'll talk to Eric about it afterwards.
Partial steps, yeah.
Partial steps is partial steps.
And depending on the grading service, some of them will say 4 full steps and 5 full steps and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of that. It's either full steps or it's not.
Well, yeah, it's either, well, there are 5 steps and 6.
Yeah, that's it. 5, but you'll see the 6th step is broken and they'll give it 5 full steps. And to me, that shouldn't be a full step category.
That's an NGC thing.
Yeah.
PCGS is 6 full steps or not.
But like I say, that I'm sure a 69S full step exists, but it's probably like NNG or, you know, American coin grading out of somebody's basement that's doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it even when you get ones that have, you know, that should have full steps, all it takes is one mark.
One nick. There was somebody yesterday that posted a picture and it had one bag mark in the bottom step. And I says, that breaks the full steps. And he was like, well, I've seen them with that. And, well, they snuck by because technically if there's any break in the step, it's not a full step.
Yeah, no, it's not allowed. And full step nickels are very straightforward as far as how they're graded. Very.
Frank said it depends on the year it was made. I don't think that's the case. I think it's a pretty much a straight rule.
On the year what was made?
That's I'm not sure exactly what's being asked there.
In general, after 59, full steps get very difficult on coins.
Yeah, and then they redid the steps again in like 90.
Oh, they did. Yeah, that they've done it even again since.
Yeah, and since then everything is full steps.
Yeah.
What's up, Lady B? How you doing? All right. Well, let's do this. I'm going to throw out a couple more winners. Let's get these out there, and I'll do. Again, thank you guys so much for this. And remember, if you get pulled, you have to send me a claim email so that I can get these out and then put your name into those items. I don't know if it's going to do it. Doesn't look like the Nightbot is pulling that up.
Yes, Frank, the nickels after 59, it does depend on the year they were made. Seemingly there are some that were hubbed better than others. But they didn't change the hubs until 67. And I think they did it in the 67 special mid set. That's where we saw the new hubs first.
David Carlisle. David Carlisle, congrats. Send me an email and let's pull one more. Red Silver, outstanding. Okay, so you two.
Carlisle does not subscribe to this channel.
David is subscribed. It's just not publicly subscribed. It's just a thing that happens. I know he's subscribed. He wouldn't be able to chat if he wasn't.
Gotcha.
Because we have subscriber only mode on. I learned that a long time ago. That it's one of those things. All right, so Jack Riley, Christopher November, again, new subscriber comes in the first time and wins, outstanding. Frank McCain, David Carlisle, Red Silver, you guys are all going to get poker chips, and I'm going to be sending in a dime to Everyday Opportunity for you guys to be entered into the dime contest. So congratulations for you all.
That's a neat contest. That sounds neat.
It's going to be interesting. I'm going to put Jack and Eric and Mike in as well for being on panel today and supporting on my 6K today. So they've done a lot to really help out. I'm also going to be putting in Paula. Again, folks, if you don't know, Paula's daughter suffered a boating accident, pelvic hip crushed, really messed her up. She's dealing with that as well as the issues that she's had with her eyes. So on my community page, there is a post. Please go over there and just tell Paula that you're praying for her, that you're thinking about her, that you guys know that she's got a lot going on, and then reach back out and say, you know, hey, we're thinking of you, looking forward to you. Come back, you know, whenever you want to. We're looking forward to talking to you again. Pop into chat, say hi. You know, just let her know, because I'm telling you guys, when you're in a situation where you have tons and tons, and it's been a battle for her. The last 6 months has just been rough. And so she needs that encouragement. So let's show her the love that she deserves as our friend and as our compadre, and let her know that we're thinking and praying for her. Okay, I definitely would appreciate that. Mike, what time is your guys' drop tonight?
It'll be out this afternoon.
I'm looking forward to it. My brain needs some overstimulation.
Sounds like a
Aaron
party.
Is chomping at the bit. He is like, he texted me. He actually texted me during this. He was like, yeah, we're ready, right? I'm like, yeah. So it's a matter of, he said that, well, I mean, we should have done a show last week, but I was just so incredibly sick, and then I was out all week this week. So he is just like, he's ready to go. He's fired up.
Oh, Invisible, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. It didn't tell me. It didn't show up on my end. I thought I had to reset it. Invisible River Ranch. I got it. Okay, cool. Well, thank you. I put you on there. I didn't mean to overlook that. I'll add you on there. Make sure you're emailing me as well. Sorry about that. No, it's not that nobody cares. It was an oversight. That's my bad. Thanks, Dislogic, for letting me know. No, and this is where, you know, hey, if you guys do something, Jeff Rubin, what's up? How are you doing? Great to see you in the streams. Hope you're doing well. The force be with you, something like that.
Also with you.
All right. Well, folks, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go grab something for breakfast, go hang out with my wife a little bit, then go watch the Ancients with Aaron. Looking forward to it, Mike.
Thanks.
We'll
all
see
right,
y'all
folks.
later.
Take care of yourselves. Be well, be blessed, and we'll see you in the streams. Ciao.